What a view!
This is incredible.
An Ontario County nonprofit.
Over the horizon, high-altitude balloons.
3, 2, 1, launch.
Oh, hey there. How we doing? We're back. Again. Are you sick of me yet? It's Sunday Rocketpalooza. Tori here from Overlook Horizon. You remember me? We're friends. We're back again for another go. Another rocket launch. In case you're watching the replay, it's 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday Rocketpalooza, August 30th, 2020. If you are watching the replay, I'll put timestamps in the description below, assuming I don't just completely fall asleep after this because I'm exhausted. But at some point after this ends, I'll put timestamps in the description below so you can skip ahead to all the parts that you want to see. I don't know why you want to skip ahead, because you're going to miss all the fun stuff. The fun stuff is the in-between stuff where we chat it up and we have fun. I don't know. I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're here for Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab now. Am I too dark? I messed with the exposure. Should I brighten up a little bit? Is this better? I think we should brighten up a little bit. I was messing with the exposure before I went live. Anyways, we're here for Rocket Lab. It's enough of that. Let's get to it. What are we doing? We got Rocket Lab coming up, launching their Electron rocket, 14th Electron rocket. It's their return to flight. If you're not familiar with Rocket Lab, they're a small rocket launch vehicle. Launches smaller satellites into orbit. Very low cost. That's the purpose of Rocket Lab. Today they're launching a 100-kilogram payload, which is pretty small, considering you get some of these satellites can be the size of a school bus. This is a 100-kilogram payload, relatively small, that they're putting up into orbit today. We'll go through a bit about Rocket Lab in case you're not familiar. So Rocket Lab, like I said, small rocket, much smaller than like the Falcon 9, which we just watched a couple hours ago. It is only for small satellites. It has, it's a bit unique. They are going to try for reusability. We're not there yet for reusability, but they're going to get there by the 17th launch. This is launch 14. By launch 17, they're going to start doing some reusability tests and put some parachutes on to try to recover the first stage booster. It's going to be a little different than SpaceX will be, because SpaceX brings it back, lands it propulsively. Rocket Lab is going to bring it back, deploy a parachute, and then use a helicopter to swing in and grab the parachute, and then set it down on the land. So Rocket Lab's doing some things a little bit differently, but they're an exciting space company. We want to watch this. We want to see what's going on. Their last launch, they had a bit of a problem. They lost it. It's a big problem. It's not really a bit of a problem. It's a big problem. They lost it. Shortly before something called battery hot swap, which I'll tell you about in a minute, they experienced a basically engine stall due to a faulty electrical connection. It shut off the turbo pumps. The engine stalled, stopped accelerating, and eventually it came back down to Earth and was destroyed. They lost it. So this is their return to flight after they did an investigation. And really what it came down to was a faulty electrical connection on those turbo pumps, or somewhere between the turbo pumps and the batteries. So the batteries, this has an electric turbo pump. So most rockets have I don't know, what do you call the other kind of turbo pump that's a regular turbo pump that's propelled by like actual rocket fuel? I feel like there should be a term for that. There probably is, but I'm blanking on that. But anyways, most turbo pumps, which feed the fuel into the combustion chamber at rapid high speeds, are propelled by the actual rocket fuels themselves. This is an electric turbo pump, has batteries on it, and it's electrically powered to fuel the engine. Gas generator, says JJ. Is that what we're calling it? Fuel pump? Okay, I could go with that, says Virginia on Facebook. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure what to call the regular. I guess fuel pump, gas generator, fuel. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Anyways, so most of the time they're fueled by the actual rocket fuel. This is electrically powered for the turbo pump, and they have batteries on board, real high voltage batteries that power those turbo pumps. They actually go, the battery hot swap I was talking about is after separation while the second stage is going. The two of the three main batteries get depleted, and they actually jettison those to get rid of the extra weight because it's such a small rocket. It really needs all that any extra performance it can get. So when the batteries are depleted, it actually jettisons those and gets rid of them. First, it does the battery hot swap, basically takes those two main batteries and switches over to the third battery on board and starts powering from the third battery. And the two depleted batteries are out of there, gone. See ya. So that's battery hot swap. We're going to see that. We'll see that today, hopefully. Hopefully we get a launch. There were 80% go for weather. We're going to take a look at weather here in just a minute. It'll be Weather with Tori at 15 minutes to the hour. Coming up. So that's a little bit about what's different with Rocket Lab. So yeah, they had a faulty electrical connection, which had a flux capacitor, says Mike. I don't think it's the flux capacitor. I think you're thinking of something different, Mike. It was a good try though. All right, we're also launching, it's very unique. It's a US company, but they launch from New Zealand. So here we go, courtesy of flightclub.io. If you don't know about flightclub.io, type !path in the YouTube chat and give you a link to Flight Club. Only works in YouTube chat though. So this is where we're launching from, New Zealand. So you can see we're here on the globe here. You can see Australia. We just launched from Cape Canaveral a couple hours ago. Now we're launching from New Zealand off here on the Mahia Peninsula, which is right there. Here's Rocket Lab's launch facility. It's not really on the map. You can't see it, but it's here somewhere. This satellite map doesn't show it. But they're launching. This is going to be a 45 degree inclination, which means that it's going to reach 45 degrees north and 45 degrees south on the latitudinal lines. Latitude and north and south. It'll reach 45 north and 45 south. It's going to look like this, right? So 45 degree inclination. It'll come all the way up here. It'll reach 45 degrees north latitude before it starts to come back down and reach 45 degrees south latitude. Like this. So we're in this inclination here, and you'll actually see we've got first stage separation here that occurs. The red parts are powered flight. The gray parts here are coast phase. You get a brief coast phase during separation, and then you get powered flight here for the second stage. First stage is just going to crash into the ocean and burn up. I don't know. Right here. This is the battery pack. So this second line here, these are the batteries. I couldn't figure out what that was for a minute, but it's the batteries here, which is what that second gray line is. So that's right after battery hot swap. So the first stage is coming here. Battery hot swap is here. The batteries are jettisoned. They go right there. Then the second stage goes up here, cut off, and away she goes. So that's what we're looking at. And actually, weather, I told you it'd be Weather with Tori at 15 minutes to the hour. Weather is looking pretty good, actually. We're 80% go for today, so there's a good chance the battery thingo. I like that. We'll just call it the battery thingamatinger. Anyways, we're looking pretty good. Now, I have to admit, I'm not overly familiar with weather patterns in New Zealand because these are a little bit strange for me. That's not a New Zealander. Not from down under. Are you still down under if you're in New Zealand? But anyways, this is the Mahia Peninsula off of New Zealand right here. And you can see these are the ground level wind speeds. Ground level winds looking great. 2 miles per hour. Practically nothing. They were tracking upper level winds, which are a little bit stronger. You can see they're coming across here at 45, 50, 55 miles per hour right now, which is not a huge concern, but I would be concerned with wind shear if they were a little bit higher. Only because the wind shear, you've got this southern ground wind here, and then all of a sudden when you get to higher altitudes, you have an eastern jet stream here like this. So That's where you can get some wind shear when you have ground level winds that are going one direction and upper level winds going a different direction. When the rocket goes up and hits into those, if they're higher speed, it's like hitting a brick wall. And you can get a lot of horizontal flex in the rocket, which rockets don't like to do. They don't like to flex horizontally. They're very strong vertically. This way, they got a lot of strength this direction, not a lot of strength this direction. So if you got winds that are all of a sudden pushing up here, you'll get the engine tries to correct and push it back this way, and then the winds will... Oh, jeez, I'm going to break it already. The winds are going to push it here, the engine's going to push it here, the wind's here, the engine here, the wind's here, the engine there, and it's going to do this, and then you get this kind of... as it's trying to fly. That is bad news for a rocket. This is no good. No good. Anyway, so we're looking okay for weather. I didn't see radar-wise, there was really nothing on the radar that I saw. So we got nothing to be concerned about radar-wise. It's just very interesting, like this wind pattern. You get this little bit of a, like right around here, this peninsula here, which is just, I would just like to know the dynamics of how that, there's got to be like mountains in here or something. Because it is kind of this little island nation here. So there's got to be like taller mountains here. I'm not familiar with the geography of New Zealand. There's got to be mountains here that are causing this wind split. Right? Am I right on this? Somebody tell me. But there's got to be mountains here causing that wind split. So anyways, we're looking okay. We got really nothing too crazy to worry about. We've got no drone ship that's out in the ocean, so we don't have to worry about that. We've got no fairing recovery ship, so we don't have to worry about that. So we just have to launch the rocket. And really for that, you just have to be concerned with weather right at the launch site, because it'll get up and over most of the precipitation and any of the other weather events, the upper level winds and that kind of stuff. It gets up and over those pretty quickly. So you don't have to worry about too much downrange. All right, let's see what else we can... What else we're going to take a look at? So right now they're going to be doing the go, no-go polling. This will be kind of our big event to determine whether they're going to go forward or not. And we might find out on Twitter what the story is and whether they're going to proceed or not. But then they should go live here. And we'll pull it up and we'll keep an eye on it. But obviously we want to make sure, we want to see how they get all the way, get through second stage flights, especially after that electrical connection. Now, there's no reason to think that they would have any sort of problems. They didn't have any problems on the first 12 flights. It was really on flight number 13 was only where they had the problem. They will be doing first stage recovery soon via parachute. That's not going to happen until flight 17. This is flight 14. So we got 3 more flights before we get to recovery operations. Now, they've done already on flight 12, 11, and maybe 10 too. I can't remember. 10 also. They did some re-entry tests where they brought the first stage back. They didn't recover it, but they brought it back to test that they could make it through the atmospheric wall, is what Peter Beck called it. Peter Beck is the CEO of Rocket Lab, called it the wall, where they had to get through the atmospheric wall and all that heating and, pressure and everything else that's built up as they're trying to come back. So they had to make sure that they could survive that, and they did that on flights 10 through 12. Did a little bit of testing. Now they're just waiting. They're going to go to flight 17 where they're going to start adding parachutes and do some more testing and try to soft land it in the water first without the helicopter, and then they'll move on to parachuting and grabbing it with the helicopter and getting into recovery mode. So then they'll be reusable. Now, Peter Beck has also said that unlike SpaceX, where they're trying to reuse their first stage boosters like 100 times before they retire them, Peter Beck is a little more on the conservative side. He said, we're going to try to reuse these one time, and we'll go from there. So they're going to try to reuse them one time and just make them basically a 2-use first stage booster. They may go beyond that, but they're basically like, let's start with one, and we'll go from there. Can you show the path again? Sure, let's show the path again. Here we go. Here's the path again. From, let's see, let's spin the globe here so it's like we're familiar with, kinda, or at least that I'm familiar with. Right there. So coming over New Zealand here, you can see Antarctica down there, you see Australia, give you some context. Right here, New Zealand, heading to the northeast, 45-degree inclination. Heading up that direction. It's actually going to fly almost directly over me. I'm up here in this region. This is where I am, up in New York. It's going to head over here, 45-degree inclination. Continue on. Like that. We're going to reach 45 degrees north latitude, 45 degrees south latitude, and it's sun synchronous, which is kind of interesting because it's at a 45-degree inclination, but still sun synchronous at 500 kilometers in altitude. Sun synchronous essentially means that it will pass over the same spot, over a particular spot, at the same time every day. So it could be overhead at noon, and it will be overhead at noon every single day. So that's basically what sun synchronous is, and that's really used for imagery that you're trying to take of the ground, especially if you're trying to detect changes and things like that. And this satellite that they're launching today, which is called, what is it called? The Sequoia satellite, is trying to, it has a resolution of like 0.5 meters, so less than 1 meter, that it can detect variations and changes on. So it's super, super precise, especially from 500 kilometers up. That's crazy. We were going to show something else. Oh, I know what I was going to show. Let's show you a little bit about the rocket, in case you're not familiar with Rocket Lab, because I don't do a lot of Rocket Lab launches, but we may change that. We may start to do some more of them. But this is the Rocket Lab Electron rocket, right? So you've got these 9 Rutherford sea-level engines here at the bottom. You've got a power pack in here for your turbo pumps. You've got your first stage here. You've got your interstage. You've got a Rutherford vacuum engine, single engine here. Your second stage. Then up on top, you have a kick stage, which is like a third stage there. And the kick stage is going to get you to your final orbits there. And then the payload plate on top, which would actually have your satellite on board. And then a little tiny payload fairing. I mean, I say little tiny. I mean, it's relatively big, but it's compared to like SpaceX's or United Launch Alliance, it's smaller. But these are smaller payloads, a smaller rocket. Hey, Reynold Cherry, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Electron comeback. Here's to a successful launch. Yeah, right? We want to see them do well. It was disappointing. Not disappointing. What's the right word? What's the word I want? Sad, really, that they had a failure on their last launch. We don't want to see failures ever. It's always a setback. Then they can't make progress. They have to take steps back before they can make progress forward. So always better to. Oh, looks like Rocket Lab is live, but nobody's talking yet. So yeah, we don't want to see any failures. So thanks, Reynold. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I'll take this opportunity. We said it a whole bunch during the last live stream, but you can join the Discord by typing !Discord in the YouTube chat. Chat with some like-minded people in our Discord community. We've got over 500 people in there that chat about all kinds of things. Space flight, 3D printing, Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, weather balloons, you name it. We're a bunch of tech geeks. At least that's what I am. I probably shouldn't speak for everybody else, but that's what I am. So join us in the Discord if you want to chat more. And if you want to even go that extra step and you want to support the channel, you can join the Inner Circle and get some exclusive bonus content, behind the scenes, secret streams, help with scripting videos by becoming a member of our Patreon, patreon.com/overlookhorizon. If you join the Patreon, you get access to the secret stuff. The secret stuff that I don't tell a lot of people. Some people ask, like, what my setup is. The other day on in Patreon, we showed the studio so people could see what it was looking like. People were asking me what kind of computer I had and what kind of graphics card I had. And sometimes we play Kerbal Space Program. So that's the secret stuff you can get access to by becoming a Patreon member. Okay, Rocket Lab's live. We're missing it already, but let's turn it up. We'll listen in.
We're just 11 minutes away
See how we
from
go.
liftoff at Launch Complex 1 on the Mahia Peninsula.
Oh, I gotta
And you're
update my
looking at a
time.
live
My
view of
countdown's a little
Electron on
off.
the
Let me
pad.
update that.
Today's mission marks our return to flight after experiencing anomaly on our last mission. In the weeks since then, our team has completed a thorough investigation with support from the FAA. We identified a single anomalous electrical connection as the issue, and we're pleased to confirm that corrective measures are now in place.
It was a tough day for our mission partners and our team, but we're excited to be back on the pad in record time with an even more reliable vehicle.
Today's launch is a dedicated mission for Capella Space, an information services company providing Earth observation data on demand. We've named this mission I Can't Believe It's Not Optical in a nod to Capella's Synthetic Aperture Radar, or SAR technology, which
All right, there we go. I updated the clock, so we should be right on the money now. Top left corner.
Capella's space-based radar will provide insights and data that can be used across multiple industries, like agriculture and security, as well as disaster response and recovery.
That's right. So for this mission, Electron will carry a single 100 kilogram class microsatellite, which will be the first commercial satellite in Capella Space's constellation. At the customer's request, we will not be showing payload deployment for this mission, but we will share the news of mission success on our social media channels once deployment has been confirmed.
Why is this not in HD? Hold on, we gotta refresh
But we
the
will
stream.
share the news
HD.
of mission success on our social media channels once deployment has been confirmed.
Oh, now that put me 10 seconds behind. Hold on. Refresh. Why am I 10 seconds behind now? Oh. Should have left it. Now I just introduced a 10-second delay. Alright, so here we go. They went kind of quiet all of a sudden. Alright, it looks like we're proceeding here. So we're under 10 minutes here. We're coming. Oh, there they go. They just lowered the volume on their launch pad there. Trying to get my clock to match up a little closer. I can't get it to match up right. It's just a touch off. All right, let's see if that's... Nope, that's no good either. Should have just left it alone. There we
A
go,
quick
right on the
check-in
money
on
now.
The countdown clock. We're coming up to T-minus 8 minutes to launch. Electron went vertical on the pad roughly 4 hours before now. Liquid oxygen and kerosene, the propellant and oxidizer we use for our Rutherford engines, have now been loaded on Electron. At about T-minus 12 minutes, our flight director held a launch go, no-go poll to determine the status for liftoff. And at this point, we are a go. But if for any reason we do have to call a hold, we have backup opportunities tomorrow and for the remainder of the window.
Some of you may know that we're working to make Electron a reusable launch vehicle. We recently completed one of the final parachute tests ahead of our first attempt to bring a stage back from space. We won't be recovering the first stage from today's mission, but we can share footage of those recent tests for a peek at what recovery will look like.
Ooh, got some footage to see. I like that. Oh, they're gonna play music on it though, aren't they? They're gonna have to mute their music. Yeah, okay, they're playing music, so I gotta get rid of their music. They got some nice dramatic music. I'll jump over like this so we can see the full picture. You'll just have to listen to my music and my voice here. I think I might have seen this footage already. I don't know. Peter Beck presented at the Small Sat conference here, and I think he showed this footage already, so I think I've seen this. Essentially, this is a drop test from a helicopter. Right there, you can see the helicopter drop, throw out the parachute there. The little drogue chute, and then it pulls out the main. Then we're gonna actually see see it come down. Now, this is just a parachute test. If it's the video that I'm thinking of, this one just lands on land. Right here, you can see it kind of come down, then the parachute disreefs there, where it gets a lot bigger. You actually saw the parachute kind of get pushed around by the wind there. That's a bit concerning, but that's one of the things that SpaceX was trying to deal with on the Crew Dragon capsule. Then this just touched down nice and softly on the ground. Now, that's not what they're going to do for actual recovery. There's Peter Beck right there, the CEO of Rocket Lab, picking up the parachute. That's not what they're going to do. That was just a parachute test.
Wait to do this in our real mission. With those final tests complete, we're now looking ahead to Flight 17, where we'll deploy the parachute for the first time. We won't catch it from the sky with a helicopter on that mission. Instead, Stage 1 will complete a soft ocean landing. From there, we'll bring it back to the factory for a full inspection. Now, as a reminder, today's mission is our 14th launch, so our 17th launch isn't far away.
Yeah, so on Flight 17, they're going to use the parachute and just soft land it and then go pick it up. But their ultimate goal is to go grab it in midair with a helicopter and then bring it back to the landing site. Listen to that sound. What is that? Can you hear that? Is that the strongback retract happening right now?
The eagle-eyed among
There
you
you
would
go.
have spotted our second launch pad being built at Launch Complex 1. Just to
Interesting.
the right of camera view.
The
on your
10-minute
screen.
siren.
The second
We're a little
pad
late
at
for the
LC1
10-minute
marks
siren.
our third in total, joining the existing pad at LC1 and our pad at LC2 in Virginia. Having multiple pads enables us to launch rapidly within days or even hours. This represents a truly responsive space capability for small satellite operators. The next major construction milestone for LC-1B is the arrival of the pad's strongback and launch mount in the coming weeks.
In the final minutes of the countdown, the teams have conducted their final checks. These include things like terminal checks of the launch pad at Launch Complex 1, including hydraulic and igniter pressure checks and the retraction of the strongback. The avionics team has also completed its final checks before Electron's automated flight termination system is enabled for flight. Now, the flight termination systems are a vital part of launch operations. Most launch providers use a ground-based system that involves a person making the decision to terminate a mission if it strays off path. But Rocket Lab is one of the very few U.S. launch companies to fly with an autonomous system.
Yeah, only Rocket Lab and
Now
SpaceX.
we're in the final minutes before launch, and soon Electron's flight computer will enter the launch auto sequence. These are the final steps leading up to ignition of the 9 Rutherford engines for liftoff. We're going to hand you over now to listen in on mission control, and we'll be back checking with you shortly after liftoff.
All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Flags on your critical LCCs.
Thomas Decker wants to know, is it a violation of stream etiquette to wear a SpaceX shirt at a Rocket Lab's launch? Sorry, Thomas. I've been wearing a SpaceX shirt all day. I actually don't have a Rocket Lab shirt. It'd be nice for me to... I should probably get one. I don't have one. And even if I had one, though, I was just live for SpaceX like 2 hours ago. I don't think I would have changed shirts that quickly. All right, so we're getting about 3 minutes. You can see... No, you can't see because my stuff's in the way. But if I jump right here, you can see Peter Beck is way on the top left corner up there. He's the only person you can see in the top left corner. That's Peter Beck.
Beacon LD on mission cord. Confirm a flight computer as goes a green.
The CEO of Rocket Lab.
Confirm.
Lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Confirm.
There we go. We're getting ready. Now,
All stations will go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes.
now
LDs go for launch.
they said that they're not going to show payload deployment today because the customer requested that they not show it. So we won't actually see payload deployment. I don't know when they're going to cut off the stream, but sounds like it'll be before deployment. So get a sticky note and write Rocket Labs on it, stick it to your shirt. I don't know if that's enough. I know I should. Ronald's upset that I don't have a Rocket Lab shirt. I should get a Rocket Lab shirt. I really wanted to get the
All AVBs are switched to internal power.
I really wanted.
Vehicle is fully on internal power.
I wanted to get the shirt that said like I never want to hold again, but I don't know, they sold out and they never made them again, and I never ordered it. I should have ordered it at the time.
Launch load is complete. System is in recirculation.
What's their mission here? It's a satellite launch, small satellite launch.
Anti-gas ring disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 are pressed.
High flow engine purges enabled.
Randy, these are not reusable rockets, not yet, but they're working towards making them reusable.
Deluge is activated.
It's a water suppression system coming active. I'll get my stuff out of the way in just a minute.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting.
Actually, I'll probably keep the events list. Maybe I'll do this.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lift off.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
That was loud. That was awesome. We're gonna have to replay that. Just for that sound.
As you can see on your screen, we've had a successful liftoff of our 14th Electron launch from Pad A at Launch Complex 1. One of the first launch milestones we'll come up against is Max Q, or Maximum Aerodynamic Pressure. What this basically means is this will be the point where Electron will undergo the maximum mechanical stress during launch.
Here we go. We're getting like a weird humming sound. Is that from the rocket?
Pass through Max Q.
You guys hear that?
Front 2.
An Electron has successfully cleared Max
cool.
Q.
Nice little shot of New Zealand in the background. It's a little bit...
AOS Chatham Station.
Next up is MECO and separation of Electron's first and second stage. MECO, or main engine cutoff, means the 9 Rutherford engines on stage 1 will power down ahead of stage separation. Once we've had a clean separation of the stages, the vacuum optimized Rutherford engine on stage 2 will ignite and continue to propel the Capella payload to orbit.
Speed is 2 kilometers per second. Altitude is 53 kilometers.
I feel like this is not the direction I was expecting it to travel in, or is it? Oh no, I guess it is. I'm trying to match it up with the map. Okay, I don't know, I'm very confused.
5 seconds to MECO.
we must be, we're seeing the other side of the island. Okay, I see what's going on.
Separation.
Stage 2 ignition.
Look at how fast it just... busts out of there away from the first stage.
Successful separation and stage 2 ignition confirmed by mission control. All systems are continuing nominally. At T+3 minutes, we're just seconds away from Electron's fairing separating to make way for payload deployment.
HVB battery discharge nominal.
Fairing separation.
Just fairing sep. There you go. You can see it heading off in the distance.
And there it goes.
Not recoverable. Not recoverable like SpaceX is trying to do. Right now they don't have any plans for that. It's just the first stage. They're going to try to recover.
Guidance is nominal.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal.
Now the anomaly from last time, they said occurred at about 4 minutes. We didn't notice the anomaly till
if you're just joining us,
until 5.5 or 6 minutes into the flight. So that's when you could actually see the anomaly, when the engine actually stalled, and that speed indicator that's up there at the top, the speed indicator just stopped on the last one, because basically the engine stalled and it stopped increasing in speed. It just became constant, and then eventually the altitude started to tick down and down and down and down and down and down and down. So yeah, but they said that the anomaly, the electrical connection anomaly actually happened before the point where we noticed it. So it was at about the 4-minute mark, which is right about now. This is where their anomaly happened on their last flight. We're definitely going to have to go back and listen to that liftoff sound. I love Rocket Lab's ignition. It's just so sudden and matter of fact. It's
a quick
it's
update
not very
from Rocket Lab
gradual.
Mission control. Electron's second stage burn continues nominally as we approach 5 minutes and 0 seconds into flight.
230 seconds remaining. Altitude is 180 kilometers. Speed is 1.7 kilometers per second. And guidance remains nominal.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal.
Why can't they show us the payload deployment? Well, the customer requested that they don't. So the customer said no, they want to keep it a secret.
Battery discharge holding nominal.
We don't really know. We don't know a ton about this payload, but remember, there are a lot of secret payloads out there, whether they want to keep them secret for proprietary reasons, for business purposes, or sometimes they want to keep them secret for, sometimes they keep them secret for government purposes, if they're going to do spying or things like that. So in this case, they just want to keep it secret. They don't want you to see what's on it. Sorry, I talked right over them. I don't even know what they said, but... Battery hot swap is coming up here very soon. This is about the point where we noticed the failure on the last launch. I can't remember the exact speed or altitude that they hit on the last launch. But if we get to battery hot swap, they did not get to that point in the last launch where they had the anomaly, so... There
Hot
you go.
swap successful.
That's better news from the last flight. Good news right there.
Yes, and there goes the collective
battery
sigh of
discharge
relief
nominal.
with confirmation of a successful battery hot swap.
Stage 2 propulsion is holding nominal.
So we're coming up on Sequoia. It's that single engine
100
cutoff,
seconds remaining.
or second stage engine cutoff.
AFTS has saved.
That's going to be at 8:52 on our mission clock there.
In another minute and a half or so, the engine on Electron second stage will power down. Shutting off the engine at this point will slow down the vehicle slightly before final stage separation. From there, the kick stage will ignite its Curie engine and propel a Capella payload toward its targeted orbit.
Payload deployment will mark the end of this mission, which will occur around T plus 60 minutes. We'll be ending the broadcast shortly after we hear the call for successful SECO and stage separation.
Well, that's good. So they're going to stick through at least deployment.
50 seconds remaining.
They're just not going to show it to us.
HVB discharge is holding nominal.
Gamer says the altitude is dropping. That's not a huge concern right now. That's pretty normal. actually, to see the altitude drop. And if you're a member of our Patreon, I can show you why when we do our Kerbal Space Program secret live streams, which is for Patreon members only. So
20 seconds remaining. Guidance is nominal.
So this is the point where I would tell you to subscribe to the channel, join our Discord server to chat in between launches, and consider being a Patreon member. You can get access to bonus content and secret live streams, where I can demonstrate why the altitude goes down right now in something like Kerbal Space Program.
And
Which
CQ confirmed.
There we go, there's Seco. That's right, just like Jason says, point down to go round. See, and you guys all thought I was crazy on the Patreon stream. Jason was in the Patreon stream. He's like, "What are you doing? Point down to go round."
And as you just heard from the team in Mission Control, the engine on Electron's second stage has shut down and the kick stage has separated. The kick stage is now on its way towards payload deployment. We'll share the news of mission success on Rocket Lab's Twitter and Facebook pages, so keep an eye out for confirmation there.
Before we close out, a big thank you to our mission partner, Capella Space.
Didn't they just say they were going to wait till separation? I thought they said they were going to wait till deployment.
With us for our 14th Electron launch.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Ariana Ryan.
And I'm Dominic Vu. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.
Oh, okay. I guess that's it. They're done. I thought they were going to wait till satellite deployment, but no. They are not. Okay, well, we'll just chat. We need to replay that launch there because that was kind of awesome. And I love the sound, and I love how, like, that ignition is. It's just like, yeah, we're going. I just love it. It's so matter of fact. I don't know, rocket engines in general are powerful, and ignition is a pretty big event, but for some reason, is it just me? I see just me just subscribed. Is it just me? Or is the Rocket Lab ignition like very matter of fact? We'll watch it again. Is it just me or is it just me? You guys tell me. All right, so let's take a look at that thing. Oh, I do want to answer Christian Kreuterud. Christian asked, what is anti-geysering? So this is something fairly new that I've actually learned myself. But anti-geysering, and I might screw up the explanation here a little bit. I'm going to do my best at it because I'm not an expert in this. But the anti-geysering, from what I understand, is it's a mechanism. It's a mechanism during fuel up of the. Let's see, why is this not working? There we go. It's a mechanism, a protection mechanism during fuel up of any liquid oxygen system that basically injects, I think the way they described it was it injects helium into the liquid oxygen tank to intentionally stir the liquid oxygen to keep the temperature uniform through all the liquid oxygen. That way you didn't get heat pockets in the liquid oxygen, because if you got a heat pocket, especially if it was lower down, it would boil down lower in the tank and cause that air to try to escape, which would geyser the tank, basically. So the anti-geysering system is using helium to pump, and pumping that helium into the tank to stir it so you don't get hot pockets, as Gregorius says. It basically keeps the liquid oxygen uniform temperature. That's what the anti-geysering system is. And prior to launch, Rocket Lab has a call out over their net that says anti-geysering disabled. They have to eventually they have to stop doing that because it's time to fly. So they disable the anti-geysering system before launch. So that's my rough explanation. Don't take every word that I had for it. If you really find that kind of stuff fascinating, you should read more about it. I actually started reading all about it while I was preparing for the Rocket Lab launch, like a couple days ago. I was like, huh, that's something I didn't even know was there. But there you go. There's the anti-geysering system. Okay, I'm kind of surprised that Rocket Lab is still live. I was kind of waiting for them to, I was waiting to replay until they were not live anymore, but they're still live. We're just looking at the launch pad. So, okay, let's watch a quick replay, particularly of the launch itself. We need to see that that engine ignition. It's just awesome. All right, let's turn down my music. Here we go. And remember, anti-geysering is the same as deorberating. No, deorberating is something that I just completely made up. Anti-geysering is real. No, it's not going to deorberate. Anti-geysering, it's a real thing. No, anti-geysering. No, I said anti-geysering. Oh, whatever. All right, let's replay it. This is what happens when it gets late at night for me. Is the anti-geysering system similar to the Apollo 13 stir the oxygen tanks thing? I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think we're in the same. I think it's the same idea. I think it's the same reason why you had to stir the tanks too. It sounds less real than deorberating. Deorberating that sounds legit. That's the nice thing about deorberating. That sounds legit. Right? Your caffeine level is lowering. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the here we go. We're going to launch the rocket. This is your headphone warning cuz I'm going to crank the volume and we'll deorberate this anti-geysering system. Here we go. Volume coming up.
10, 9, 8.
I love this.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Can we just do that again? Like, I need to do that again. I can't get enough of that.
As you can see on your...
We need to do that again.
10.
I'm doing that again.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Watch your ears.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
That's so crazy. I love that. I love that sound. They have the best pad
As
microphones.
you can see on your screen,
for sure. Those have got to be the best pad microphones to hear that sound like that. Somebody said Electron is talking again? No, they're not talking again. Thanks for watching the coverage. Yeah, they just had music. Who told me they were talking again? You made me cut away from the rocket launch just for that? That's all right. All right, one more time. One more time. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
I love that. I can't get enough.
As you can see on your screen,
I can't get enough of that sound. I'm gonna just crank that. I've got studio speakers in here, which I can't use during the thing. I've got I got the whole Alexa system. I have nothing. I wanted to ask Alexa something, but I have nothing funny to ask her. Anyways, I gotta play that on the. I'm gonna have to play that on the big speaker. Maybe I shouldn't do it right now because I think everybody's sleeping since it's almost midnight. but maybe tomorrow.
Electron has
Oh, watch that. Watch that again. I'll just keep it in my headphones for now. Such a bummer. I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to play that in the nice speakers. All right. Well, we didn't really get to see the actual deployment. Has Rocket Lab said anything?
Next up is MECO and separation of Electron's
Have they said anything yet? No, because payload deployment we're not even at kick stage ignition and cutoff yet. So we had kick stage separation, but we're not even at deployment yet. So yeah, we wouldn't have any sort of confirmation until at least an hour from now, which we're not going to stay long. We're not going to stay live that long. We've had 3 events in one day today, almost 4, but 3 live events in one day. It was an exciting day. It was a long day. Done a lot of talking to the camera today. Talking to you guys. I shouldn't say talking to the camera. I'm talking to you. Whether you want to listen or not, it's up to you, I guess. Why did the NROL 44 get scrubbed? I think it was some sort of ground support equipment, wasn't it? I don't normally cover the United Launch Alliance stuff. Unless it's some of the bigger ones, like Parker Solar Probe we did. Mars Perseverance rover we did. I don't cover a lot of the NROL mission or anything like that. Although it is a Delta IV Heavy, which is kind of exciting, and there's not too many of those left. Delta IV Heavy is still pretty exciting. But yeah, there's some, I think it was ground support equipment, wasn't it? Caused that last second abort. On your SpaceX coverage, you missed seeing the white contrail that the booster camera could see as it fell back towards the pad. You talked about the Caterpillar, but the contrail was clearly visible. No, we talked about it, Mark. We did talk about it. I know it was a long live stream, but we did talk about it at one point. It was towards the end of the live stream, though. If you cover it, I'll watch it. Well, that is... Thank you, Adrian. That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Can you do it one more time? My daughter just got home from school. Oh, Lisa, you're killing me. You're killing me. You know I can't say no. Like, how can I say no to that? There's no way. All right, we got to play it one more time for Lisa's daughter. Lisa's daughter. I don't know your name. This is just for you. And me.
1.
Liftoff.
Pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
There it is. All right, there you go. All for Lisa's daughter. I love that sound. I just love it. Somebody said, where is it? Oh, 72 Galaxy Tank Girl, please talk about the name. I can't believe it's not Optical. So Rocket Lab comes up with funny names for all their launches. The I can't believe it's not Optical is it's a play on the old commercial. I can't believe it's not butter, but I can't believe it's not optical, because this satellite, Capella's Synthetic Aperture Radar, the SAR, is a radar-based imaging device. So I don't know. I guess that it's not optical based. I'm not exactly sure on the technology behind that word, but that's why it's called I can't believe it's not optical. It's a reference to Capella's radar-based imagery sensors, and then it's just a fun name, because they do that with all their launches. They give them fun names. So the chip that Elon introduced yesterday to control the rocket by the brain, the Neuralink. Yeah, right. You know why Delta Heavy aborted liftoff the other day? I think it's ground support equipment, but I don't know for sure. I didn't really look too much into it, but I think they said it was something about some sort of ground support equipment that caused the last second abort, right? What upcoming launches can we look forward to? A good question, Adrian. We got Starlink on Tuesday. We've got an SN6 Starship prototype hop that's probably not going to be until at least Wednesday. Maybe beyond that, but I think we're looking at Wednesday for the next SN6 hop attempt. So those are two pretty exciting things. We've got some bigger events for you. Crew Dragon, the Crew 1 mission's coming up October 23rd, or no earlier than October 23rd. It could still push out later than that, but we're looking at October 23rd for the next Crew Dragon mission. Oh, what else do we have coming up on the list here? We talked about Starlink. We talked about the SN6. We got NROL, National Reconnaissance Office. Their flight number 44 there, or payload 44, is looking like September 5th. Although I'm probably not going to cover that one. What else do we have to cover? We got a Falcon Heavy coming up. The USSF-44, the United States Space Force 44. That's a Falcon Heavy. We haven't had a Falcon Heavy in a long time. That'll be exciting to see. What else do we have? I'm looking through some of the bigger ones here. I don't see any other like big major ones that we probably should call out now. If I miss one, you let me know. Pictures or it didn't happen. That was the last launch, the failed one for Rocket Lab. That was the name of that one. Anything at Wallops? I don't know. Let me see. I can filter my list by somehow. I can filter. How do I filter? Filter. Should probably push the filter button. Launch location. Let's see. Wallops Island. Let's see. What's the next thing at Wallops? I was unable to find any results. Okay, there's nothing coming up at Wallops, at least not on my list here that I know of. Okay, well, Falcon Heavy boosters always land at the Cape, only one drone ship, right? Nope, that's not correct, Unexpected Books. Actually, we have two drone ships on the East Coast now. We have both, of course, I Still Love You, and Just Read the Instructions, which was on the West Coast last year, like almost exactly a year ago. It made the trip over to the East Coast, and now JRTI is on the East Coast, along with, of course, I Still Love You. So both drone ships are on the East Coast, so you could get a dual booster landing at sea for Falcon Heavy. Now, there was rumored to be a third drone ship. It was called the Shortfall of Gravitas. That is on hold. There's no development on that, but that would have been the third drone ship. If there were more Falcon Heavy launches, if that launch cadence was becoming more frequent, you might have seen them build out a Shortfall of Gravitas, the third drone ship for the East Coast, so that they could catch all three boosters during a Falcon Heavy launch. But if they ever do a launch that requires that the boosters can't come back and do an RTLS landing, they have to land at the drone ship, then the center core would just be lost. It would be expended. They wouldn't be able to recover that at all. They would just recover the side boosters. But they could recover both side boosters by drone ship. Electron will be from Wallops. Yeah, Electron does have they have a facility. Rocket Lab has a facility on Wallops Island. We don't know when their next launch is not on my schedule yet. I'm just looking at what's on my schedule with like a definitive date. Yeah, Rocket Lab's second launch complex is at Wallops Island in Virginia. Yep. So, all right, well, I can feel my voice starting to get hoarse already. I've been talking all day. I got to give my voice a rest. So, I'll tell you one more time. Join the Discord channel. We can chat afterwards. I'm probably going to unwind a little bit. I'll chat and say, hey, how you doing in the Discord? We'll see what everybody's up to. So join the Discord if you want to come hang out and chat with like-minded space folk that like space and science and technology and all that kind of stuff. You can join us. Join us there. And we hang out and we talk about space. We talk about technology, Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, 3D printing. What else we do? We talk about weather balloons. Talk about all kinds of stuff there. You can come hang out. Sometimes we talk about, I don't know, Red Scorpion always posts that he's cooking ribs. It makes me hungry every time he posts it. So we talk about all kinds of stuff. We're just a community of friends. We're all friends here. Join us. Be friends with us. I want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. Anyway, all right, we're getting late. And if you really want, that's the other thing. I gotta get my spiel. If you really want to support the channel and you want to go that extra mile, consider becoming a Patreon member. That's where you can get access to the secret channels in Discord for our behind-the-scenes content, our secret live streams, all that kind of goodness. So you can head on over and become a Patreon member to get the access to the inner circle. All right. That's going to be it. Adrian snuck in a super chat right before we ended. Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate the super chat. Enjoyed all the streams today. Thanks. Well, thank you, Adrian. Thanks for joining us here today. The next thing we'll be live for is probably going to be Starlink on Tuesday morning. Starlink 11. We'll be live for that on Tuesday. So, all right. That's going to do it for me. It's been a long day. We had 3 events in one day. That was a busy day. So, all right. Thanks everybody for hanging out here. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys in the Discord, or maybe we'll see you back here on Tuesday. But my name's Tori. This is Overlook Horizon, and I will see you next time. All right. Goodbye, everybody. See ya.